Welcome to another edition of the German Gills post-match review. I'm your host, Adam Wesgate, and today we're going to be covering Sutton United away. So with the away games, I don't get to the majority of them. I get to a few every year, and the ones that I do attend, I will do a post-match review for. So it's very much an as and when. I get to the majority of the home games, so we'll get that out as soon as we can. So as you know, we've won 1-0 away. If you don't, I've just spoiled the match for you, although really you're just gonna get highlights. But we're becoming very Italian because we're doing a lot of 1-0. So 3 of them so far. The only team we actually beat comprehensively was Southampton. Took a £12 million player to score against us so far. So we're doing pretty well. But we haven't achieved something as good as 3 wins on the bounce at the start of the season since the 2012-2013 season. Martin Allen won the league. It was all right. We were sort of satisfied with that. It'll do. But it's a pretty good start. We don't want to get too optimistic yet, but I think we've got some really good signs for the season. And as far as the match goes yesterday, I'm kind of going to break it down into segments about the team. So, in goal, Jake Turner. Fantastic, did a great job. My only criticism would be the distribution at times when we lost possession by just kicking the ball out quite often. It was generally on the right flank in the second half. I was sat behind the goal, so to see kind of tactical changes, it's really difficult as opposed to when you were sitting at the side, like the Medway stand. It's much easier for me to notice these things. And then we kind of move on to the defence. Although the goalkeeper is an important part of that, I wanted to separate because I thought Turner did a very good job. Defence was brilliant yesterday. They really only had one clear-cut chance, and that was the goal line clearance I'm referring to in the first half, which I saw very, very, very up close. Now, there was the offside situation in the second half. I don't know really whether we were lucky with that or not. I was trying to watch on the highlights, and again, I kind of found it difficult, but at most it always felt like Sutton would only get the 1 goal, which obviously would have cost us 2 points. That's not great, but 1 chance for a home team, or maybe 2 at most, that's pretty good going, and they really did snuff everything out. And I just want to add again, after seeing Ogie 4 times now, he's one of the best players that we've had at the club in a long time. Probably he's looking like the best defender we've had since John Egan, I would say. And that's in a pretty solid defence. I mean, Scott Malone, I've sung his praises. The fans were literally singing Scott Malone songs, so everybody's made their feelings clear. We've got a very solid defence, and he really stands out in that. Good pairing with Ema as well, with experience. So that's probably, I'd say, our strongest position. Now, moving on to the midfield, and this is where I think it's very relevant as to how Sutton managed to get some advantage, is that yesterday I felt that Dieng, he's coming back, so it was very uncharacteristically, it wasn't a bad performance, it was okay, an uncharacteristically average performance. Lapsley, I thought for the first time looked a bit lost. I've kind of stuck up for him before, where I've said he normally plays a more advanced role when he's at his best. He makes his late runs into the box, he scores the kind of goals that we don't have anyone else that can do it. So I've always said, look, he's playing for the back, etc., but there was a lot of wayward passing, and I thought Ethan Coleman was good, but maybe not quite as good as I've seen before. However, maybe I'm being a bit harsh, because I think at the moment the best way to play against Gillingham is to press them. We saw Southampton start off passive, we got our goal, and suddenly they started to, come at us more, and it was more effective. So as soon as Southampton pressed us, they suddenly did better. They didn't get their million passes in. Accrington Stanley obviously done their homework, pressed us. Suddenly they started off well. We adjusted, and obviously we won the game, so that's fine. But this is why we need different options like Ollie Hawkins and just bigger characters, literally bigger people up front, so that we can hoof the ball. Tom Nichols does a great job for his size as a stand-in for trying to hold the ball up. He's got great control, but he's not Ollie Hawkins. So if you're trying to play that style of football, it's not going to work as well. But again, I come back to the defence being our strongest position because we didn't really give them a sniff. So in reality, Sutton had a lot of possession, had a lot of time outside of the box. But did they really do anything with it? No. And in large part, I'd put that down to the defence. So I'd say the strike force, Nadeson and Nichols did as well as they could. Again, when we started hoofing the ball and we weren't playing on the ground as much, first 15 minutes, brilliant. Suited them perfectly. Once we did that, they couldn't be as effective, but they defended as well as they could. They tried to make as much of the chances as they could. I think they did a pretty good job. I mean, the whole team, I can't complain because it was a great effort. Harris has mentioned our defensive positioning was good. We stood up to them. That includes the midfield as well. But I still think when you look at the Stockport game, when you look at the options on the bench, defensively in the centre, we're stronger than the midfield. And I think sometimes it might be better to sacrifice a midfielder and put them at centre back when we're losing that battle. And just literally have our strongest point in the field. And I think that is the centre of defence, be not our focal point, but we try and utilise it as best as we can. That's how we beat Stockport largely, in my opinion. But a win is a win is a win. You can't complicate it too much. You need to stay positive. The management team will look at how we could improve it. They'll never take their foot off the gas. I don't believe that with Harris at all. So we can't be anything but positive. But what did you think? Did you think we were lucky? Did you possibly think that we were better than I made out? We'd like to see you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We really appreciate your support here at German Gills. So thank you very much, and we'll see you at Crawley.